All right. Let me know if you can hear pretty well. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I got my headphones on. I don't know if you can actually hear anything. Let me go ahead and pull up my information here so I can properly talk to you all guys about what we're doing today. I got way too many tabs open. I have to kind of start closing a lot of bunch of stuff here. I wasn't fully 100% ready here. So I was just looking at like Spanish teacher opportunities nearby me, and there are like more than 5 teaching positions open, man. That's crazy. I got 2 friends that reached out to me, and a couple of history school that I work in the area, and says like, "Hey Jade, if you want to come and teach, there is an opening here." And I was like, I don't know. I've been working in IT now for the past 4 months. I don't know if I want to do that. So when I went back, I was reflecting about the payment and all that. I went back and looked at how much have increased for the past like 4 years, and the internet is like saying that for a beginner teacher working in a public school right now, you get up to 45 to 50,000 dollars, no more than that. So you go to school for 4 years, get a license, got to do an internship for summer, and then you get your license, which you have to take a test to pay for it because the state doesn't pay for that stuff. And then you get the opportunity to work for the first year. So the first year it's very minimal. They don't pay you. So how come like you could spend 4 years of your life? I have to take tests and stuff, standardized tests by the state, and all you get is $45,000. That's crazy. So if you go and work at McDonald's, though, you don't have to have a college degree. You can go right after high school and you can get that kind of money. So that's exactly what happened with me. So I went back to school to get my master's, thinking that with more education I can have more increased payment, and I did. I did get a bump of like I think I don't know 5, maybe $4,000 something like that. It was worth it at the time, but man, it's just there's a lot of things going on in the education system right now that might no make me not want to go back. If I ever have to go back, I'll if I have to, I'll do it because I love teaching, and that's what I'm doing this YouTube, and TikTok stuff just to kind of teach and do what I love. But I also like technology, so if I couldn't find a way of how to kind of put those two things together, where I can give you guys value by teaching and also learning as I'm going, because teachers are always constantly learning new things. So I think that that's what technology is like, is very interesting to me. I don't know you guys, but obviously the money is good too as well, because basically now in my entry level job that I have, I'm getting as much as or a little bit more than my first year that I started teaching. So to give you an idea, and then the last 2 months I have learned more stuff that I wouldn't probably like learn if I'm like in college when it comes to technology. A little bit of SQL, a little bit of like ticketing system, also how to do remote desktop, uh, Active Directory, which is really important when it comes to like seeing like end users and solving and troubleshooting problems and things like that. So it's pretty cool, guys. So let me go ahead and to the meats and bones of the lessons today, so we can kind of. I thought it was important for me to tell you that because is it? It's really tented. Like today, for example, we got tornado warning, and you know, it was nice to stay home and not going to work because summers are off when you're a teacher. But you basically work all year round for 10 months. Obviously, you got some summer off, you got all those holidays off, good benefits and everything. But also, man, I miss those like day off. That's it. I think that the number one thing that I actually miss, because this is my first summer that I'm now off technically. So, because my job is start at 8 o'clock, I got 1 hour lunch between 12, sometimes 1 o'clock. I normally take my lunch later so I can give the chance to the group to go, because we have to kind of alternate our lunches. So lunches start at 11, and there, we're done by 2. So I decided to take my lunch at 1 o'clock. Sometimes I go. I don't mean I. Sometimes I just what I do. I go alone and eat at my desk and go ahead and take off at 4 o'clock, so I can have that flexibility. But it is an adjustment. It is an adjustment. I'm I have I've been contemplating the fact of going back. Um, there's nothing wrong with that, but I always gonna like be doing what I love, which is teaching. Doesn't matter if it's Spanish, if it's you know if it's technology, whatever it is, they're gonna keep doing that because that's my passion, right? Let me put that here so you guys can see this. I'm gonna start the screen here. Just a second here so you can see. This is my playbook. I call it How to Pass the Security Plus Exam. So you and YouTube, you probably can see it, but my people here and TikTok can. So I'm gonna have to switch the camera so you guys can see. I'm gonna flip the camera here in just a second. So this is how it's supposed to look like. How's it supposed to look like? So how to pass the Copatia Security Plus exam. SYO-701. So in today's lesson, so we're gonna dive into this a little bit more. Like yesterday, I told you that I'm gonna review some of the things that I did from day one, so you guys kind of remember what we're like doing and what's our goal. So basically, our goal is to spend the next 30 days studying uh, the exam domains. So domain number one basically is about like 12% of the test. So the score is actually 900, up to 900. So in order to pass, you just need 750. So the second domain is trees and vulnerabilities. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. And the third domain is security, architecture, like how some certain things are like, you know, done and all that fun stuff. So and then the fourth domain is operational security, operational, how the system work. So that's actually the 20. That's 28% of the test, and that's one of the most important domains. We're not gonna do that stuff tomorrow though. And then domain tomorrow, maybe the day after, one of those two. So I got to look at my agenda and see how far we've gone. So let's see. Yeah. So yeah, those are the five. Well, you got program management and overseas 20%. So this is the ebook that I'm gonna be giving away for those who are gonna follow me, and uh, even if you come for a few days, you always can go to YouTube and kind of. So this is why I wrote this book, understanding how security exam work, how the domain and vulnerability, like all this stuff is here, day by day, draft, day by day, as you can see here, everything is there. How to use the book, and that's what I've been using technically in order to kind of exam code. The number of questions are 90 questions, 90 minutes, and in order to pass, we need 750. The questions are multiple choice. It's a performance-based questions. So you're gonna have what we call it PVQs. You're gonna have a few of those based upon the five domains. It is recommended you have some sort of experience, but it's not required. All right, some people that take this has been in the field working for more than probably a year or so. So which means that they know what they're doing, and then companies require for them to take that in order to kind of manage their systems and the security and cybersecurity in general. So they have to take that. So it's valid for 3 years, and then after that you can keep it up. You can kind of renew it by getting some classes, what we call like educational credits. It's pretty easy stuff. So right now it's about 392, but I believe that's with a voucher. You gotta have a voucher of like 25% off because I think it's $405 in total. So yeah. So what are the PVC questions? So PVC The performance-based questions basically are question most people are not prepared for. They appear at the beginning of the test. Usually, you're gonna have like 2 or 6 of them, and they require you to interact and like simultaneously with the environment. And rather than just like pick and choose the answer, it's like more like dragging and putting back in place. For example, you have to configure if you have to configure it like configure a firewall, you gotta like show how you do that, and they're gonna put you like in some sort of like a scenario in the screen where you're gonna have the ability uh, to kind of drag the things on, and what would you do in certain aspect of different you know situations. You got to identify vulnerabilities in the network. So they're gonna give you a diagram, and then you're gonna have to kind of you know interact with the environment and show how would you do that. So matching attack types, like phishing, for example, they're gonna probably show you something like that with an email, and you're gonna have to kind of react to what would you do if you find yourself in a situation like that. I think it's really cool. Um, it's really important that we can understand how this stuff work in order to uh, you know pass the test. And this is this is domain one right here. Give me just a second. Hold on a second. The dog is going bananas now. Gonna make sure this is all good here. All right, great. So, oh, thank you. Welcome. Who is this person? We got Diana to be the co-host. Somebody else. CCO. It's okay. Welcome. So domain one is the one that talks about the general security concepts. And I put a question up into my description and my profile saying like, what is CIA when it comes to tech? So that's the part that talks about the heart of the security, and that's what we kind of start talking in day one. CIA means like confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So that's basically what it is. So every security decision in cybersecurity comes, comes to like those 3 words. So you got to understand how that works and what is that. Okay. Muy importante. Deben entender que si no sabe esas 3 cosas, no va a pasar el examen. Entonces, es muy importante. All right. So, and then we got, security controls. We got, zero trust and authenticity. So, and that's all in the book. You can get this book for free. You just have to kind of follow me, DM me, send me your email in a DM so I can kind of send you that your way so you can study that in your own terms. So you don't have to necessarily stay stuck here for 30 minutes and then 15 minutes right after because I have like 45 minutes total. The last 15 minutes to answer any question that you probably might have, and we can talk about my transition from being a teacher to tech and all that fun stuff if you want. But for now, if you kind of write a comment and I don't read it, my apologies. I'm going to do that at the end. I'm going to go back to the comments and check this out to make sure that you can kind of be able to participate in the live too as well and all that fun stuff. So and basically that's what we've done so far. So this is mostly all the things that we've been creating so far. So, um, vulnerability scam and threat intelligence. This is very important too as well. I like this book. I actually use, to be honest, I use technology to create this. And this is based upon Jason Dion, which is a professor that teaches in Udemy, and also Professor Messer, which is a god when it comes to cybersecurity and tech. Um, so all that come from that and their classes. One thing that I want to tell you guys, if you haven't watched Professor Messer, he has a list of different mini videos. It's between like 3 to 5 minutes video that is worth to watch because if you watch this video, you're gonna see some of the things that you see here, but you have more like visual things to look at. He had like he's an old dude that talks about he uses a PowerPoint presentation kind of thing, but he's explain the things in detail by section using every domain, and he break down pretty well. So I actually watched them. It took me about 6 to 8 hours in total, but I didn't watch all at once. So I was like, no, when I was at the treadmill and I was walking for 20 minutes, I would like, put it and just listen just to get familiar with the terminology that they use. I think Professor Messer is very important for you to pick his brain at because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is that when you're at the interview, because you're going to have the opportunity to get an interview, obviously, and you don't know how to kind of attack or express yourself about all those type of things, it's going to be hard for you to get a job. You're going to start out by applying for different jobs, and then you will see that your resume is not getting any hit because they're not calling you back. So that means that you have a problem with your resume. So you have to kind of make sure to revamp your resume. If you have to kind of go and use technology to do that, do that. A lot of people are doing that, so don't be afraid of like using technology to your advantage. And then if you get a bunch of hair, this is nachos. I got a dog that it's a healer mix, and I'm all like full of like hair and stuff. Anyhow, so that's that here. So I think it's very important for you to understand that it's not gonna be easy though at first, and I'm gonna tell you. I mean, I spent about 6 weeks trying to find a job, and one of the reasons why I got in was because I got a friend in one company that I'm working right now that they were looking for project managers at the time. Project managers it's another industry that is growing a lot. The only thing with that is they're gonna pay you well, but they're gonna squeeze you all your energy because you're gonna have to travel a lot. Sometimes there are positions where you can work remotely, but you still have to travel at least once or twice a month. But project manager is no joke though, because the way that they were like telling me all this, just cause I was up to for it. I was like, I'm gonna be a project manager. I can do this because if you so and so can do it, I can do it too. Man, when they talked to me about what is, what are you supposed to do and all that, I kind of back up a little bit. I said like, I don't think this is for me. Because okay, I like traveling, but like you're gonna like leave Monday and come back like Thursday night. You just basically working, you know, every day. I mean, you're in a hotel. They pay you for the meals. They pay you for all this stuff. Um, but it's tough. It's tough. And sometimes we just get like between 35 to $45 per hour. They don't pay you salary, but there are other places that give you like a flat income base. So I say, well, that being said, I think that I'm gonna pass. And then I ask if they have any other opportunities for within the company that I can start learning their products and stuff because I got pretty excited about like getting in. I just needed like an opportunity. What did they say? Yeah, we have a an IT support specialist. It's just like what? Okay, what are you supposed to do? And they tell me like this is what you're supposed to do, but you have to kind of be trained. And I was like, yeah, my background is in teaching, so I can learn fast and all that fun stuff. So they said, yep. And here I am. And now I'm kind of transmitting all of that stuff to you all guys. All right, really quickly. We're about 20 minutes in. Um, those next 10 minutes are gonna be pure information for you all guys, okay? Because today, as a day 5, we're gonna cover cryptography, the fundamental of cryptography, and also this is part of the domain 2 actually, where we're gonna be talking about the architecture of design of which makes like up to 21%. And also, let me actually put the PowerPoint presentation for my people in YouTube so they can kind of see what I'm talking about here in a second. I have the I got all 30 days here map up. I just need to uh, put the slide number 5 so my people can see this in YouTube here quick. You're not gonna be able to see it. You're gonna have to go to YouTube to be able to see the pictures because I can't connect. Oh, presenting slide. Here we go. Uh, oh wow, I didn't really have option to full production control. Wow, that's pretty cool. But then you have to see. This is cool. I like this, but I'm not gonna use that right now because I don't want to pay for this. Yeah, I'm gonna just share my screen by just looking at this slide like we normally do. They were like suggesting me to get this PowerPoint like thingy in that. Look at that. I'm training all my script right now, so let's know what I want to. It's the other one, which is this. There we go. That's the one I want. Is this? Hold on a second here. Yeah, this is day 5. Perfect. So let me see if this works. I'm going to go to this. Where is that? I got way too many tabs open. I always put way too many tabs open. Ah, don't know why it's acting that way. Let's see. Oh, because it's in PowerPoint. That's why. It's PowerPoint. Guys, I'm getting like difficulties here. Come on. I should have this going here quick. But this is part of the fun thing, right? You wanna make mistakes, sometimes you gonna adjust to that. Okay, I got it here. So there you go. If you're on YouTube, you can be able to see what I'm seeing right now. It's basically this whole PowerPoint that talks about the domain number 5. So all the domains are going to be listed in this, but let me put it in slide mode. New slide, la 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 la, and we got design a slideshow from the beginning. There you go. So if you're on YouTube, you'll see the whole full like there are 5 different domains there. You can see that. So we got threats and attacks and vulnerability architecture. We talked about that in the past, and we'll see all of them there. And it talks about the division of like how they're all divided: 24%, 21, 25, 16, and 14. So domain number 1 is like worth 24%. Um, so since we're in day 5 right now, we're gonna talk about the architecture and design. Um, then I'm gonna go to the next slide here, if that allows me to, because it's acting funny today. But my computer is touch screen, so I can actually touch and go like one by one. So cryptography. What is cryptography? Cryptography basically, well, before I get into that, because there is a lot of fundamental stuff beyond what is cryptography. And I'm thinking about like how can be a good, easy, and simple way how I can explain this. Because we don't want to get into so much like technicality here. Um, what would be a good example for you to kind of explain that? Well, let's think about when you send a PDF format document to anyone, and you don't want the middleman to see or to have access to that PDF. A good way to do that when it comes to cryptography, an example of that would be a digital signature. So digital signature, what does is hash and encrypt the information. So when it goes to the sender, the person that is going to receive that information, basically can't receive that information without having someone looking at it. It will be like having a private key. So, for example, it can be your telephone number, can be your social security number, or can be a code that you only know what like four or more digits that you can put together. Okay, and that's how digital signature works, and that protects what is then the integrity and the identity of the sender, and also the information that goes to that particular person. Think about this as an opportunity for you to protect from people that want to see what is going on, and like when you send an email. All right, all right. So time is running down soon. So I got my Zumba lesson in about an hour. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this down really short. Um, you wanna go with me and dance Zumba too as well? I can go ahead and put the live what I'm doing my exercise class. Every Wednesday, my jam is like instead of like working out, like lifting weights and all that, I just go ahead and I'm the instructor that teach the class. So I use like Latin dance music with exercise, and we do like we call Zumba class. This is Latin hip hop Zumba class. That's what I call it. Through the YNCN, which is an organization here in the United States that has a lot of activities for family and children. Everyone can go, and they have swimming pool, they have like sauna, they have exercise group classes and stuff. And I think it's fun. Okay, if you live in the state, you know what I'm talking about. Like, if you're internationally, it's just like a gym with a lot of perks within. It's like a whole building, with the gym in it too as well. All right. So, and that my friends, ladies and gentlemen, I think is the best example that I can give you when it comes to talking about key terms in the exam that triggers. So you're gonna see as asymmetric. You're gonna see SH at 8-256. You're gonna see hybrid, which is a combination of like key exchange plus symmetric for data. When you put your internet browser like HTTPS, the S is means security. If you don't see that in a website, don't get in that website because it's not secure. Okay, the TLS, the broken, don't use that. And then finally, we talked about the digital signature too as well, which has encrypt with sender's privacy to protect, the information. You have to have a private key to get access to it, which is like identity and integrity. Okay. My dog is going bananas now. I think he kind of probably saw in a square or something like that. He does that all the time. All right, and then some exam tips for my people in YouTube. You can see this. I don't know if you can see that in TikTok. Actually, I'm gonna flip the camera so you can see what I'm seeing here. So this is those are the tips that you're gonna find in the test. So symmetric, same key, you're gonna say asymmetry, key repair. So this is for the test, and then ND5 always run. Answer would be secure, and then HTTPS, just like I talked to you before. If you don't see that excuse me, and the HTTP and a website when I'm trying to kind of put www, don't get into that website because it's going to steal every information. Okay, it's not going to be secure, and that's about it. So your classroom skills are tech skill. You just didn't have the badge. If you were a teacher or if you're in any other career, remember you get transfer skills that can be transferred to any job, specifically in tech. Okay, and I think that you just have to have a plan and have like the ability to believe that you can do a lot of bunch of stuff. Okay, so a lot of people tend to not believe in themselves, and that's what things come to. That's when that's when people start like doubting And when they start doubting, so they won't be able to be successful, sure. So um, now I got about 50 minutes for questions. That was basically the lesson. I'm gonna have to call it a day for at least for the time being. And if you have any question, now's a good time to like answer any questions, ask any question that you might have. For my people in YouTube, I'm gonna be clocking out here quick soon. If you have questions, make sure to put it in the chat. My YouTube people. And that was day number 5 for y'all. Pretty simple stuff. Okay. Now remember, you gotta get the ebook. If you get the ebook, you're gonna have the ability to have more information in there because I went just like basically to the most like important things. I didn't get into too much detail. But in the ebook and in the study guide, you're gonna find out all the stuff that we talked about. Okay. So I get about 10 more minutes. If you have any questions, now is a good time to ask. So for hashing and detailed signature, there are a lot of bunch of names that you're gonna find in the test. But remember the one that I told you about digital signature. That's gonna be one of the main ones. And PKI, it's public key infrastructure managing certificates. That's another one too as well. HMAC, which is hash secret keys. Excuse me. All this stuff is really really important. Okay, when it comes to like technology and all of that. So yeah, pretty cool. Okay, I'm just minimizing some of the things here quick. So tomorrow, day 5, we'll be talking about domain. Well, we're still in domain 2, talking about architecture and design. We're gonna be talking about PKI, which is like basically a certified and outer protocols to protect information and certifications too as well. And we'll give you some of those key terms for the test. Um, and also talked about tips, what to know in order to pass that section there. So ticketing system, Active Directory, uh, those are gonna be there too as well. So, all right. All right, my people in YouTube, I'll see you next time. I'm gonna close up here in TikTok. Remember to follow me and um, YouTube, which is the uh, bilingual pivot. Instagram, the same thing in TikTok as well. So I'll see you in the next one. And remember, you are good enough. You're a child of God. And remember, life is always beautiful. Life is beautiful.